Hello and welcome back to the Geordie Pig Investor channel. Today we've got our May 2024 dividend update. In this video, we're going to look at all the stocks that have paid me a dividend within the month of May, and excitingly, it is a new all-time high for myself, so we'll be able to dive into which stocks have taken me to my best ever month in terms of receiving dividends. Before we get into that, let's have a quick look at the portfolio. We can see that at the start of the month, on the 1st of May, my portfolio was worth £16,952 and had a return of 4.09%. And in the last month, I have added over £3,000 to the portfolio value, with it being worth just shy of £20,000 on the 1st of June. But unfortunately, the returns have dropped to about 2.86%. Now, this video is going out a little bit late, so apologies for that. I've had a very busy month in June as I've been on holiday and had a few things to catch up on, but I'm now up to date, so my videos will be coming out on time, which is very exciting. But I can confirm my portfolio has slightly risen since this and is back up towards that 4% mark. But as we can see, it's still getting that consistent money put into the portfolio, which is the main thing. That is what we're mainly concerned about, and that is what's going to build up my dividend portfolio for the future, and hopefully we'll reap the rewards long term. Moving on to the first stock that paid me in the month of May, it was a British American tobacco stock, ticker BATS. I currently own 29 shares of BATS, which I bought at an average cost per share £23.60. My current value of the holding is just shy of £700 and it has returned just shy of £15, with a total dividend received over £19 now, which puts my overall gain up £33.94. They pay a dividend 4 times a year and have a massive dividend yield at 9.79% and do have an okay 5-year dividend growth rate at 2.91%. The dividend payment I actually received this month from BATS was £12.98. So overall for May, we started off with a very healthy £12.98 dividend, and it's always nice to get one of your bigger dividend payments at the start of the month and get the ball rolling. So after I got my dividend payment from BATS, we then received our next dividend from MasterCard, ticker symbol MA. I currently have 1.36 shares at an average cost per share £360.74. My current value of the holding is £474 and is unfortunately down £25.80 on the position right now, which is down 4%. However, I do believe that it's at a really nice, attractive price, and if it is to continue to creep down, I will continue to add to this position. I received 20p in dividends so far, and that puts me in an overall net gain of negative £25.60. MasterCard pay a dividend twice per year and have a dividend yield at 0.6%. They have a very big 5-year dividend growth rate though at 14.87% and are looking to continue to really bolster that dividend payment over the coming years. And I believe long term we're going to really reap the rewards of the compounding interest by continuing to invest into MasterCard, and it is such a good solid company that I'm very, very happy to continue to add this position. From that 20p received, I received all of it this month, with it being my first dividend payment from MasterCard, bringing my total for May up to £13.18. My third payment in May is, you guessed it, the one that we get every single month, and that is Realty Income, stock ticker O. We currently own 13.3 shares of Realty Income, and we pay an average cost per share £41.34, which means our current value of the holding is £555.85, and it is just slightly in the green, being up 0.34%, but we have received over £11 in dividend payments now, bringing the total overall on the position to being up £13.78. As I mentioned just before, it pays a dividend every single month, which is one of the most attractive parts to Realty Income, especially people who are looking to receive dividend payments on a monthly basis to pay for bills. I'm not in a position to be doing that as I'm reinvesting all of my dividend payments right now, but it is still a very solid company and one that I believe is going to be a very, very consistent one for the long term. Their dividend yield is at 5.91% and they have a 5-year dividend growth rate at 3.22%. And this month they paid me £2.31, which brings my overall total for May to £15.49. The next stock ticker is AAPL, you guessed it, for Apple. If you don't know who Apple are, you must have been living under a rock, because they are one of the most well-known companies in the world, and I currently have 2 shares of Apple, being an average cost per share at £140.62. So my current value of the holding is £302.44, which has returned me just over 6%, which is £18.07. And I have received a total dividend payments from Apple of 78p, bringing my overall total of the position to plus £18.85. They pay a dividend 4 times a year with a very low yield, similar to MasterCard at only 0.52%, but do have a good 5-year growth rate at 5.43%. Out of that 78p, I received 33p this month, bringing my overall total for May to plus £15.82. The next stock that we are looking into is Haleon, stock ticker HLN. This is a British company and they have only just recently formed. I own 62.55 shares, being an average cost per share at £3.25. So my value of the holding is just over £203, and it is also slightly in the green, being up 0.1% or 10p. But we have received a nice healthy £2.08 in dividend payments, which we received the whole amount of in this last payment this month. Brings my overall total to the position being up £2.18, and they pay a dividend twice per year and have a dividend yield currently at 1.84%. The reason they don't have that 5-year dividend growth rate right now is, as I've just mentioned, it is a new stock, so they haven't been around long enough to have that. But this brings my overall total for May to up over £17 now, which is now getting towards my all-time high, which was £35 last month. The next stock that we are looking into is Caterpillar, stock ticker CAT. Currently own 0.63 shares at an average cost per share at £199.74. My current value of holding is £165.30, and it has a massive return of over 25%, being up £33.77 on the position. And we've received £1.32 in dividend payments overall, so it brings our total to £35.09. They pay a dividend 4 times a year with a fairly low yield, currently at 1.57%, but are looking to continue to grow that yield, and as they have a 5-year dividend growth rate at 6.59%, and out of that £1.32, we did get 55p of it this month. It may seem like some of these positions are pointless and are such small positions, but trust me, if you stick at them and continue to build your positions, these small 20p's, 40p's, 60p's will soon turn into £1, which soon turn into £10, and then before you know it, you're getting those 3-figure dividend payments every single month. Overall for May now, it takes me to £18.45, and the next stock to pay me is another American one, and that is Texas Instruments, stock ticker TXN. We currently own a very small position in them, being only 0.78 shares, because when we bought in, it was right at the start of my portfolio and their stock shot up in price straight away. I've not been able to get in since, but we are up over £20 on the position, and we have now received £2.25 in dividends, meaning the position is up over £22.79 overall. They pay a dividend 4 times a year and have a fairly healthy yield at 2.69% and a brilliant 5-year dividend growth rate at over 10%. We did receive 68p of that this month, which brings our May total to £19.13. Our next stock is one of our newer stocks that we have invested into, and that is Greggs, stock ticker GRG. This is a UK stock, and we currently have 10 shares worth of Greggs, being an average cost per share at £27.34. This means our overall holding is worth £294 because we are up over £20 on the position, being up over 7% already. We have also received £3.44 in dividends, thanks to them paying out not only a regular dividend this month, but also a special dividend, bringing our total to £24.27. And they do pay a dividend twice per year with a yield of 3.47% and have a really good 5-year dividend growth rate at 12.91%. One of the main reasons I looked into buying into stock, alongside me believing it is definitely undervalued right now. Like I said, that full £3.44 was paid this month, being one of my newer stocks, so it brings our May dividend total to £22.57. Our next stock is Greencoat UK Wind, another UK stock, stock ticker UKW. We currently own just under 200 shares worth at an average cost of £1.36, bringing our total to being £280.63. They've returned just over 3%, being up £9 on my position currently, and we've received over £6 in dividend payments. Out of that £6.83, we have actually received £4.96 this month, and they do pay a dividend 4 times per year with a massive yield at over 7% and a fantastic 5-year dividend growth rate at 9.6% as well. I'm not so optimistic on the 5-year dividend growth rate continuing at this rate with their dividend yield being so high, but I do believe that they are at a great price for the stock, and I have done my analysis on them, and I am very happy to continue to add to this position, especially having such a nice yield. My overall payment for May now comes to £27.53. Our final payment in May was one of our biggest positions in the entire portfolio. It is one that has unfortunately dipped over the last month or so, but it meant that I could add a lot more to my position, and it's meant that I've received one of my biggest ever dividend payments. That stock is SBUX, stock ticker SBUX. Currently owning just under 30 shares worth an average cost of £65.72 per share, meaning my current holding is valued at £1,897. As I mentioned, I'm currently down £67 in the position, being down 3.45%, but we have received now £13.33 in dividend payments, which means we're overall down just over £50. I'm very, very bullish on SBUX long term and believe that they definitely will recover, and I'm very hopeful that over the next 12 to 18 months, this position will turn into the green. They do pay a dividend 4 times per year and have a very nice dividend yield at 2.78%, and have a fantastic 5-year dividend growth rate at over 8.8%. Out of that £13.33, we received a massive £11.25 this month, which is how we catapulted our overall May dividend total to over £38. This is our best ever month. I'm really happy for it to come. We seem to be getting a best month every single month. It's super exciting to see because every single month so far this year, we've been able to top our previous month's payments. So if we have a look on the graph to see that in action, we can see that in January we received just over £6 in dividend payments, which then went to February at over £16, March over £26, April at just under £35, and then May now at over £38. I'm just going to keep continuing doing what I'm doing, investing in my portfolio, building my positions up, and reaping the rewards long term with these dividend payments. Not only am I bothered about the dividend yield, but obviously the dividend growth rates across a lot of my stocks are very, very healthy, and means over the long term they're going to continue to beat inflation, which means my portfolio is going to be rising above that rate, and eventually one day hopefully we'll be able to see 3 and 4 figure payments coming in every single month. So that is it for today's video. We can see that consistent progress. It's great to put it on a graph and actually be able to see it visually. So I definitely recommend that you track your dividend payments. You always want to keep on top of how much you're actually receiving, because it's so important to know that you are progressing in the right direction and you're happy with where your portfolio is heading. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more, please let me know in the comment section down below. What stocks have you been receiving dividends from this month? And are you looking at adding any positions to your portfolio to bolster those dividend payments? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. This is the Geordie Pig Investor, over and out.